Hello, welcome to the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. In today's video, I'm just going to show you a few tips and tricks that will help you when you've been crate digging and you're sampling into your MPC. Let's jump in. Okay, so the tools that we have at our disposal nowadays compared to the old days are immense. What I'm about to show you nowadays is a lot easier to do than it was back in the day. If you do a lot of crate digging, especially if you look for a lot of tracks from like the 60s and 70s, you'll know that they were experimenting with stereo back in those days, and a lot of engineers decided to push all the vocals or all the drums over to one side, all the instruments over to the right-hand side, or something in the middle, something on the right, something on the left. And that can really work in our favor when we're sampling, because at its very basic fundamentals, it's a way of separating instruments. Stem separation, if you like. Certainly if you listen to some of the stuff by the Beatles, Sly and the Family Stone, definitely, you will know that there are tracks that have, you can make it if you really try, by Sly and the Family Stone, for instance, has got all the drums on one side and everything else on the other side. So sampling, obviously, that's brilliant because you can isolate the drums really easily. The way that we used to do it we would literally plug in the left cable or the right cable into our sampler and just sample one side. And that's how we would isolate it. We might have a mixer that could pan either way as well. Some of the mixers we had, you could do that on. But some of us poorer people didn't have that. So it was literally a case of plugging the left cable in or the right cable in. In the MPC nowadays, when you're sampling in, you do actually have a few tools. You have the air stereo width, which you can pan left or right. And also, once you've actually sampled in to the MPC, you can also, if you go right to the end, next to, we've got stems right at the end, but the one next to that, you can sum, which gives you a mono signal of the left and the right. You can just make a sample from the right-hand side or just make a sample from the left-hand side. So again, it's much easier. But basically, the point of this video is to inspire you, I guess, that when you are crate digging, and I find it easier to do this on headphones as well, even if you've got really good monitors, you do tend to miss the little nuances, the little things that go on the left and right hand side. So I tend to stick on a pair of headphones when I've been crate digging and I'm jumping through my tracks or going through some tracks online, and with my headphones on, I'll listen all the time to what's going on in the center, just the bass line on its own. Just the drums maybe. I'll listen to what's going on the right-hand side. Is there loads of reverb? Is there just a guitar? Or I listen on the left-hand side. Is there some vocals, etc.? And by doing that, you can get a lot more out of the samples that you sample into your MPC. So the track that I've got in the MPC, I've sampled on purpose because it has got things going on left, right, and in the center. I've slowed it down a little bit because then hopefully YouTube won't give me a copyright strike, but they may still do that. So if you're listening on the headphones, listen to the left and the right and listen right down the center. So you can hear there's some horns going on and like a piano. There's a guitar going on that side, and the drums are pretty much front and center. I think the bass, the bass is front and center as well. So what you can do in the MPC is, once you've got that sample in there, which was a lot easier than it used to be, as I said earlier on, is I've got the main sample in there. In Sample Edit, I can go into Process and I can basically make different versions of the sample. And that's what I've basically done. What I've done is I've got the original sample on here. On this one, it's sum, so it's the right and left mixed together with the center of the stereo field as well. And then on this one, you'll notice that you can't really hear any of the guitar. It's very slightly in the background. And then this one, you can hear the guitar. And then this one, right down the center. Now that one is a little bit of a cheat, which I'll explain in a second. But that is taken out of the center of the mix. Which is basically a pretty good drum track, and you could cut that up and make your own drum kit out of it really, really easily. So just run through it one more time. Here's the actual proper sample. And you can actually hear on that last one, if I go into the sample edit there, sorry, it's that one, isn't it? You can hear that the guitar actually starts before the drum. If I zoom in on it, that's where the actual kick drum at the start is. But whereas on the other ones, I can chop right at the start. I just left that in there because I thought maybe I could just take that guitar sample out. So obviously you could use stem separation on all of these samples and completely, you know, separate the guitar out and the piano part and the horn part, the drums, etc. You could do that, but not all of us have the stem separation software in the MPC. And we also know the stem separation software in the MPC is not the best. It introduces a lot of artifacts. You know, some people don't mind that, but just me personally, I'm not a big fan. And I like to do it the old school way. You know, I like to separate it. I like to listen to the stereo mix, and I just prefer to do it that way. Now, one point where I did cheat slightly is there's a plugin by Waves, which I think it's just called Center. And what that does is you can turn down the side of the signal and just have the center of the signal, or you can turn down the center of the signal and just have the side of the signal. And what I actually did when I sampled this in twice, this sample, and the second time I used that center plugin from Waves and just had the center running, and that's how I got those drums. But if I'd have used the separation software, it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as that. It's still quite ropey, but that's because the original vinyl that I've got is pretty terrible. And I've also dirtied it up as well with Air Lo-Fi, and I've put the MPC 60, you can see here, a bit of compression on there as well. But basically, that's it. All the other different versions that you've got, it gives you more to work with, because I can have this running all the way through. I can take the other samples and just have the guitar part. I can isolate that more with some EQ. I can take the low end off. I can EQ some of the drums out a little bit. This one, I can definitely EQ the low end out and just have like the horn. It's a clarinet or something. And then this one where I've made it just the mono, which is everything, that would be a sum version of it. I could just filter that down and just have that as the bass line. In fact, I think at pad level, oh, have I got it here? Oh yeah, it's actually here, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Let's turn that on. Okay, so there, you know, I've just got the filter there, so I can use that as the bass line. I've got the drums, and basically I've made my own stem separation, but I've done it in the old school way. Now, by using that technique, I have found, and I know loads of other producers, beat makers have as well, I've found so many brilliant samples, tracks where you'll listen and you'll just listen to them out somewhere and you'll just think, oh yeah, that's a nice drum beat. But if you listen on your headphones, you hear in the mix that the drums are all over on one side and you've got the drums. A good example of that would be Ultramagnetic MC's Give the Drummer Some. The drum beat in that is sampled off a track called There Was a Time. Now there's two different versions of it. The De-Felice Trio version, which came out on the De-Felice Trio album, is actually in mono. So you've got a bass, an upright bass, and the drums all in the same channel, and you can't separate the drums. But there's a version which is on the James Brown album, because he produced the De-Felice Trio album. And on the James Brown album, which I think is Getting It On, maybe something like that, I think it might be called, his version of There Was a Time is actually panned. So you've got all the bass over one side and all the drums over the other side. And what Ultramagnetic MCs did, what their engineer did, was he just sampled the drums, basically. So I know a lot of people who heard that sample was De Felice Trio. There was a time, and they bought the De Felice Trio album, got it home, and they were like, well, how have they done it? How are the drums? There's only drums. There is a bass in the drums. How do I just get the drums? So I found that by mistake, to be honest, because I actually had the De Felice Trio album as well, but then bought the James Brown album, and then I realized it had been separated. Another example as well is there was this big legend, this big myth, I guess it was, that there was a version of Take Me to the Mardi Gras by Bob James, which didn't have the bells at the start. It just had the drum beat. And I can remember at the time everyone going on about it. And I'd already sussed this out at the time. And I remember thinking, no, there is no version. What it was as well is at the time, I think it was Biz Markie, maybe, God rest his soul. He was playing a version of it which didn't have the bells in it. And I think what he'd done is he'd had it cut on vinyl, because he had 1210s, 1200s that only played 7 inches, and he had a 7-inch version of it, but I think it was a dub plate. As far as I'm aware, despite the fact that I've had arguments with other beat makers about this, there is not a version that doesn't have the bells in it. If you know that track, if you've got the Bob James album, which is Bob James 2, listen to it on headphones and you can hear all the bells on one side and the beat on the other. Just separate them and you will have that beat without the bells, and you will have that mythical version. So I hope that helps. Really, really quick tip, really, really simple, very straightforward, but it does open a lot of doors, especially with late 60s jazz, funk, even pop stuff, like I said, the Beatles, and going into the 70s, they still hadn't really got out of that, or we've got stereo now. So you can find a lot of really, really good things, and you can have samples of different versions of the same track, and people will be like, I kind of know that, but I kind of don't know it. So I hope that helps. I hope that's inspiring. So thanks for watching. This is the Crates Motel. My name's Conan. Till next time.